Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Ultra Squad, and today we're back at it again with a Damachi What If. Now, this is actually the one I'm doing on this is actually like the first ever Damachi I'm actually doing on my second channel. So yeah, and with that, guys, I will explain something how he will actually get Godspeed. Like, what if Bell had Godspeed? So yeah, so with that out of the way, let's just start the video. Oh, and before you guys ask, I'm actually going to just explain right there who's going to be the ship. And it's going to be Artemis. So, yeah. So, with that out of the way, let's just start the video. Now, where we actually going to start is actually Belle actually growing up. Now, this, I won't actually go too much into Belle's past, but this one, he will have like a different encounter when he's actually growing up. As Belle actually grows up, he's growing, he's actually what? Outside right there with his grandfather Zeus, by the way, guys, if you guys don't even know, as he just pretty much right there during the video, as his grandfather just telling him about heroes and things like that, as Bell is actually just inspired by it, that he wants to become a hero, like these heroes that he always wanted to be, like the one that his grandfather always used to tell him. As it just when Bell's grandfather Zeus tells him about what the Zeus familiar, as he tells him right there and Bell about how the familiar was so powerful that they were actually truly heroes, that everybody really used to fear them but respected them. And also Hera. This actually catches Bell's attention right there. Like, how strong were they? Like, truly, were they did anyone bet them before? Zeus said only one person did, right? And that was a guy called Otar, as he was a pretty much of a powerful adventurer. And Bell was actually inspired, like, whoa, I want to be just like that. As Zeus just thinks of it. He was actually thinking should I give him a bit of my alpha, divine powers to him? I think it was actually called the alpha or something like that. I can't remember, but he thinks about it. But he said probably, who knows, probably when the time's right. As now we actually go to Bell when he's actually 7 years old, as he is actually just out, as inside the small town. Remember, they're actually at the mountain place, as it's actually pretty much over stormy day. As Bell is just pretty much he has a knife in his hand, and he starts right there training with it. As he's actually training with it right there, Bell is actually practicing his sword skills and things like that. He's more taking up the the role of nearly kind of as an assassin. As he actually is doing his training, lightning starts sparking around. Bell gets terrified, as what he hears his grandfather calling out for him, telling him to get inside and things like that. As Bell is actually going through, he gets struck by lightning, as Zeus was actually shocked by it, and he rushes towards Bell. As Bell gets struck by lightning right there was actually a huge explosion. As there was actually a dust cloud covering the whole view. As Bell's grandfather Zeus just rushes towards Bell, as he sees Bell is knocked out unconscious, but with burn mark all over him. As he picks Bell up, he rushes him inside, and he checks on him to see if there's any serious injuries. To his surprise, Bell was actually fine. He was actually fine, and this actually surprised Zeus. How that kind of force of lightning should have just injured him so much, or damaged him. As you were actually thinking about it right there, if he was able to survive right there lightning attack just like that, then just think about it right there, how powerful he would be if I actually, you know what, as Zeus' grandfather decided it. He said I'll just give right there a bit of my alpha, a fauna right there, to him, to his divine powers. As he actually did so right there, he gave a Bell a small, okay, this is something I'm going to make up. He made Bell a member of his familia, but just a temporary one. He's not a fully member yet. And this is only that Zeus can only see, and no other goddesses or god can even see it. So only him. So it's just a temporary mark on him. He put it right there on his chest, as Bell Bell starts waking up. He says like, "Oh, what happened?" And Zeus just explains to him as what really happened. And Bell was actually shocked, but he was surprised that he was actually all right. That's like what about like a few days later, or no, about like a few years, Zeus actually trains Bell. And this time it's actually like what? Like Bell actually takes the approach of assassin. So he starts right there doing like some assassin training and right there like what? Trying to harness like what? His skills and things like that. And plus, I'm gonna say this: he learns all the skills, like kind of like what Kilara from Hunter x Hunter. I think that's how you pronounce his name, like Kilara. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. So yeah, well, he didn't actually learn Godspeed yet, but he just exposed to lightning. So yeah, as we will actually like okay, I'm gonna do like a massive time skip. Like everything will play similar out into what Zeus faking his death and things like that. So yeah. So we're gonna go on like to where Bell actually goes to Aurelio to become right there a hero and things like that. So we will actually go and like Bell will obviously he will join like what Hestia and things like that. He will be the first person to join, but also like another person will join like Hestia as well. So yeah, in this one I'm kind of gonna say this, but Hestia will kind of like betray Bell. So yeah, well kind of not really kick him out, but not really pay him much attention to him. So yeah, he will still be part of Hestia. So yeah, familiar. As we will actually right now see Bell inside the dungeon. And Bell, this one he's already skilled. He knows how to fight properly. So right there, Bell is actually inside the dungeon now as he will actually what encounter with the Minotaur, say original and from the anime. As Bell in this one, he has trouble defeating a Minotaur because even though he may have killer ass like skills and assassin things, like I'm gonna say this like Minotaur was actually really strong, and Bell right there uses like what his assassin skills like what to get like the better of him, especially his speed. Like Bell is actually really fast, so in this one like his agility in this one like he is super high up. I'm not gonna add like probably like what about like um nearly around like S class or whatever, like S class whatever, yeah. Like as Bell was actually like facing off against the Minotaur just goes and slams Bell into a wall. As Bell right there quickly got himself up like jumped from an attack that was actually coming towards him. As Bell just goes and takes right there like his knife out and slams it down already on the Minotaur's like what shoulder. As the Minotaur right there cries in pain, Bell just goes and he slices like what tries to slice down, cutting off the Minotaur's arm, but to no success. As the Minotaur right there just got angry, he just goes and breaks Bell's knife. As Bell was actually caught off guard, as he was actually Bell actually gets like gut punch to like what to the stomach, making him like what fall like to the wall. As right there like what the thing will play out where Ice will actually come and save him, and Bell will actually like what have like a monument for Ice, and he will pretty much run off similar inside like anime. He's not like killer wild guys. It's just that like what he's Bell. He's just literally just normal Bell. So yeah. So as Bell was actually running off right there, he will actually have the same encounter with Miss Aina and things like that. As in this one right there, like people will actually just start looking at Bell, saying like, "Yo, wait, is that the kid? Huh? I can't believe it right there. He got his ass handed to him by a Minotaur. You heard? I heard right there the Sword Princess actually saved him." People was actually talking about that. Bell was actually kind of feeling like embarrassed. As right there, Miss Aina actually told Bell not to worry about it. As right there, Bell just said like, yeah, as he will actually catch in his magic stone. As he was actually walking, Bell right there will actually hear some like people like talking about him over there staring at him, saying like, "Oh, that's really the kid right there. Oh, I actually feel sorry right there for Hestia. He got right there like even though he may look cute or whatever, but still, like how could you actually allow someone to go inside a dungeon right there like and not know how to fight or like defend yourself or things like that? He doesn't even have like a party." This was actually normally the thing that people was actually saying to Bell, but he didn't actually let it get to him that much. As he made it back to like what the Hestia simulator, he was actually like what? He was actually greeted by someone that Bell didn't really like. It was actually like Kel. Yeah, I'm just gonna call him Kel. Yeah, as Kel right there was pretty much of an arrogant prick. He was actually like what? A level like what? 2 or 3, close to actually 3 actually. As like he said like, oh wait, oh, it's not right there little minotaur right here. And right there Bell just says like, wait, wait, you know about that? And right there like what? Kale just says like, man, of course I do know about it. Everybody knows about it. Sword Princess actually saved right there a weak boy like you. Pathetic. Right there, like you right there, I don't even know why Hestia even like what made you part of her family. A weakling like you. As like what? As his like as he was actually about to continue to so Bill Hestia that comes in and said like, what's going on? She is like she would say. Edreda and Kyle just says like, oh, nothing much, Hestia. You know, I was just talking to Belle, and you know, like, and she would say like, oh, I heard that you got saved by the Sword Princess. Edreda Belle said like, yeah, I mean, it's that not like it's not that big of a deal. As Hestia just says like, it is big of a deal. It's making a mockery of me now. Edreda like, she just explains like everybody in town will just pretty much just laughing at her like having like a weak familiar like him. That's right. I like what Hestia couldn't actually like stand it. She just went inside the church, and right there, Kyle just said like, "See, she's disappointing in you for being weak. Maybe if you were strong right there like me, you would get actually a chance right there. Probably right there, you actually probably like by luck get a girlfriend." He would say, as he was just walking inside the church with this Bell just being mad. As he actually goes inside the church, he can feel like a spark of lightning just coursing through him. As he's actually like what Bell is just doing like okay as he goes inside the church to prepare like something like to go find something for him to eat, he goes to see like his section of the room like what that he was actually sleeping like was pretty much destroyed, like all like his part like his own food that he kept only for him. Or they like Hestia has her own food, Carl has his own food, and if they wanted he didn't like them together they will actually form each other. So pretty much for they like what Bell's side were pretty much right there destroyed. And he just said like, hey, who did this? And right there, Carl just said like, it's probably right there you didn't even make a, like what? Yourself in the room right there before you went to like the dungeon. And right there, Hestia said like, Bell, you really need to right there, like start growing up and taking care of yourself now. As Bell just said like, yes, God, Hestia. As he would just go right there like to find like to clean up like his stuff. As a minute will pass to where like Bell like what he would actually see like Carl and Hestia eating like potato croquettes. As he would actually go to take his own, but just the project that Carl said like, hold up, Hestia. I mean, after that like Bell said like, but I haven't eaten. Or that Carl just said like, well, I'm sorry, like you need to work your own money. I mean, I work money for me and Hestia. I mean, you need to start committing yourself to the group. As Bell just actually gets angry, he just leaves like the church. As he's actually leaving, like he actually just fully on like he actually passed right there like what one blue-haired girl. As right there like what as he saw Bell's soul. Okay, we all know right there Freya is actually Freya. If you guys actually read the manga, so yeah. So Freya, aka Freya, was basically working at the tavern and she sees Bell pass her. After that, she was actually surprised by him. She can actually see his soul is transparent. And the moment she actually locked eyes on him, she instantly fell in love. As Bell was right there just walked past, not actually like noticing her, and he just actually goes straight like what? This time he actually knows about like what? The shop, like the tower shop, like the low class and things like that. So he just goes in and buys himself a knife. As right there, like it's not like the good knife, but still, it's actually good for him to like what train his like assassin skills. So yeah, as Bell right there goes to the dungeon right there, he starts right there for what same master right there, getting his frustration out. He doesn't even like this. Like he pretty much like what gets treated like crap. Like before, like when he actually arrived at Rario, people always said like, yeah, get strong, kid. Like you're not strong, or pretty much right there like you're too young, or like you're already like you don't have the properly like skill sets. even though Bell did show his assassin skills, it was actually stated that how is the assassin going to work inside a dungeon. As Bell right there let all his frustration out until right there like what? He will actually be surrounded by a bunch of magic crystals or whatever. But not a lot, but still. As he was huffing and puffing, he heard noises. As right there like what? Shadow monster would disappear. As like what? There was actually a bunch of them. And Bell just said like shit, I think I actually went too far outside the dungeon this time. As like what? It was like he was actually at level 5 floor, so yeah. As like what? Bell was actually preparing for attack. He like once Shadow Monster crept behind him, but Bell with his actually great assassin skill was actually able to detect this, as he was actually able right there to. I think it was well, one second. I think his skill was actually called like perfect rhythm, where he actually like what? You know how like he was able to make after images of himself like what Killer actually did. So basically kind of like that. So he basically did that right there, perfect right there, like images or movements or whatever, or rhythm. He pretty much right there like quickly just annihilates the shadows quickly. As he actually does so right there, he actually feels something. Like he checks his hands and he sees that his hand is actually like sparkling with lightning. He said like, what's going on? As right there, he actually sees this right there, like more monsters disappears. As Bell says like, I had to worry about this later. As like he actually sees that his hand is actually shaking, like it's like his blade is actually just shaking as well. As he said like, what's going on? As his whole blade will be covered right there like what? In lightning. As to unknown to him right there, like the lightning that like okay, the monster that was actually coming towards Bell. Unaware, Bell just actually like lightning just goes and shoots the monster, just completely incinerating it. And Bell thought like, is this magic? As like what Bell just pretty much like what quickly after his camera there just shuts off. He just said like, what happened? As right there like a creature monster comes behind Bell, but Bell quickly like dispose like of them. I actually don't know why I'm actually still on level 5. I should be down right now level like probably 6. Those monsters would probably give me a challenge, Bell would say. As he was to look at his hands again. What was that? Was that actually magic that I actually just used? If so, right there, this is actually pretty much awesome. I mean, not even Carl even has magic. I mean, he does, but it's not that impressive, but still, I actually have magic. I have magic, Bell will actually shout. But unknown to him, right there, someone was actually inside like what? The dungeon. And right there, she was actually pretty much like what? Observing like Bell. Well, yeah, it's not magic, little boy. It's actually called Nen. As the girl would say, as she would just actually walk away like, I wonder right there how far he'll actually go. As right there, Bell would actually just keep on cheering, but right there, like he actually decided like what to decided to go up. He's been gone out, like he's been gone for a while. Probably like what? Hestia and Kyle have actually gone to sleep. As he's actually picking up like the gems, he decided like heck, he actually really needs to step up his game. Like he cannot be pushed around like that. As as he's actually like walking out like to like what? The top floor, to the exit of the dungeon, he actually feels something right there like watching him. For some reason, he doesn't even know why. He just feels something that's actually watching him. As unknown to Bell, Freya was actually at the top of her tower. And she was just watching Bell leave the dungeon. And she was just like, your soul is transparent. And right there, it seemed I can actually read you. You seem hurt for some reason. I have my eyes on you, Belle Crenell. As she would just lick her lip right there, she would just have like a wine in her hand. And right there, like she would just say like, Otar, as a giant man would actually just come by the name of Otar. And right there, she would just say like, as he would just say like, yes, my lady. I want you to keep an eye on him, please. Probably right there, like, help him increase his growth, but not too much. As right there, Otar would say like, very well, right there, madam. As right there, he would just say like, but what method should I actually use? And she would just actually look towards Belle. You know what? Never mind. I will actually right there do it myself. Don't worry. When the time comes, I will actually call you to do. I'll actually think of a way for you to increase his growth. Okay? As right there, Otar would just nod, as he would just just casually just stand behind, like beside her there, Freya. But guys, I think I've already that might end it for today. I know this was actually pretty much of a short one that you guys actually just wanted to see more of it, but I will actually try to actually record more. But if you guys like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.